You are currently listening to a holiday best of the Dr. Dahlia Show. Please stay tuned, have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a fantastic New Year.
You are about to listen to the Dr. Dahlia Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Dahlia Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Dahlia.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Dahlia, 1-877-DOCDALI. So this is bothering me, and I need to talk to you guys about it. So many of you have said, Dr. Dahlia, why haven't you done more on YouTube? You can make money on YouTube. You need to increase your YouTube presence. I've been in radio now for 15, almost 16 years. And YouTube would have a very inconsistent censorship pattern where something I would say that was so pro-vaccine or pro-whatever would get censored and saying, well, you're saying something that goes against our policy about vaccine. So I'm like, oh, so you're anti-vaccine? No, they're not anti-vaccine. And so I was like, look, I'm confused. I don't want to get banned from YouTube. So, I support vaccines. I just don't support mandates. If that statement is going to cause a block, I guess let me just leave YouTube out of it. Well, recently I was like, you know what? Maybe there was something wrong with their algorithm years ago. Let me go and start having my shows back on YouTube. So starting putting my shows back on YouTube of my own volition. And all of a sudden last night, they say that my discussion on vaccines was medical misinformation and went against their policy. Now, I reviewed what I said yesterday. Basically, what I said was RFK Jr. is looking at vaccines and what he's going to do in terms of vaccines. And I'm wondering if, because I'm a doctor, any trigger word just, I guess, caused them to clench. You know, like when your mother-in-law calls, all of a sudden it could just be one word like hello and you clench and then you can't go to the bathroom for 3 days. And so I'm wondering if it was that. And I listened to it. And I was talking about how doctors are mixed and doctors are worried about, parents now getting out of not using, the vaccine protocol and doing more homeschooling. Or are we going to now have more transparency? Are we going to be looking at the science evolving, which I think we should do? And when they said you could appeal, so I'm like, great, let me explain to them. If they listen to what I even said at the end, I support vaccines. I'm grateful for them, but we do need to evaluate the science and check for side effects. Within seconds, they go, well, your appeal has been denied. And if you do this again, going against your community standards, this affects the channel. Now, I guess what I'm really, really kind of concerned about is we're about to go into a Trump presidency where Make America Healthy Again is going to have a lot of reevaluation of what we're doing. And doctors, I also talked about informed consent. Is that medical misinformation? I'm confused. Okay, I mean, I'm board certified, have never been sued. I have been always supportive of public health policy, except when it comes to mandates. And where are they construing that is something that could harm people? It's because they're of one political narrative. And this censorship is kind of frightening because basically, if I bring up RFK Jr. again, like I'm doing today, I could get banned. Now, I'm not saying I love the guy and I'm not saying I hate the guy. I'm reporting the news. I'm also reporting that doctors are mixed. I'm also reporting the standards of healthcare, where we're supposed to get informed consent. We're supposed to evaluate if there's side effects. We're supposed to do no harm. And we're supposed to also try to squash diseases like polio, hepatitis, pneumonia, and look at the strides we've made. And if I can't talk about it, and I only have to limit my conversation to being very, very, okay, whatever Biden wants is fine. I don't know what to do. And it's interesting because I spoke to people about it. They go, well, a lot of YouTubers say they have to really watch their words carefully. They have to pick and choose and they have to, okay, I'm not living in North Korea. I'm not living in China. I am living in a democracy. And I have to stop, pray, and reword how I think we should make sure that our vaccines are safe and reevaluate and maintain a robust vaccination. How do you reword that? How do you reword that you want your kids to be able to get vaccines and you want to ensure that they're safe at the same time without getting canceled? And I mean, I've been a big fan of YouTube. I mean, I have praised them for a lot of things but if they're going to get medical misinformation wrong or try to silence people as we're coming into this Make America Healthy Again presidency, then you're going to be really getting limitations of voices. You know, I even published a study on vaccines and how there's misinformation online about vaccines. And you're telling me that my discussion of RFK Jr., and there's going to be a lot of discussions because, you know, every time he comes up with something, I'm going to want to debate that. See if he's right, see if he's wrong. I'm going to be looking at what he's posting for us to see, which I support. We should be able to see the studies. And I'm going to look at the studies and tell you if the studies are valid or if they're not. And if YouTube is already putting me in a position where, look, we're watching you. I mean, I don't have to use them. I don't make money on YouTube. I have never made money on YouTube because I just haven't done that business model. I'm so busy with everything else. And I understand you can make a lot of money on YouTube. But all I'm doing is I'm making sure my shows are accessible to people. And again, I started growing the channel. It's not big. So, but I'd like to know that I'm not being censored. I'd like to know that I'm not being silenced when I'm just reporting facts. And I mean, remember when Viagra came out, there were people dropping because they were taking nitrates and people didn't realize that you can't take Viagra and nitrates. And so their blood pressure was dropping. We have to always be open for new medical information to share it with you. And if it doesn't fit an algorithm, we get canceled. 1-877-Doc-Dolly, don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell our listeners who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me join you to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now and find out how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-710-5100.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. If you think you deserve compensation, call now to find out how much you qualify for. 800-710-5100.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
diesel fuel cetane levels.
The cetane rating in diesel fuel is 42 to 45. Most diesel engines operate more efficiently with a cetane rating of 48 to 50. One treatment of Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme will raise your cetane 7 points, increase fuel economy, and improve cold starts.
Hot Shot Secret Diesel Extreme is available nationwide at truck stops, fine farm and auto stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
That's right, free. The smartest way to hire. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know that more than half our household energy costs go to heating and cooling? Energy efficiency isn't just good for the environment. It means lower utility bills, too. One way to reduce your energy waste is a home energy assessment. Your utility company can help, or you can learn how to do it yourself at EnergySavers.gov. That's EnergySavers.gov. You'll learn to look for air leaks around windows and doors, check ducts for holes, and improve your insulation. Another time to cut energy costs is when you shop for a new appliance. Look for the Energy Star logo and read the Energy Guide label. And there are day-to-day things you can do. Lower your thermostat in winter and raise it in the summer. Close fireplace dampers when they're not in use. And keep air filters clean. For more tips on saving money by reducing your energy waste, check out ftc.gov/green. A tip from the Federal Trade Commission, the nation's consumer protection agency.
No word in the English language is less convincing than probably.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
Sure. We'll probably stay together.
Probably? It's been 23 minutes since I ate. I can probably swim.
You should wait 30 minutes.
Okay, now tell me what to do. Cannonball! Cramp! Oh, I have a cramp.
I can probably hit the green from here.
Probably.
Can I get a mulligan?
Ready to go?
Hey, are you sure you're okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm pretty sober. Yeah, I'm probably okay.
Probably okay isn't okay, especially when it comes to drinking and driving. If you're drinking, call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
All right. We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Dolly, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to y'all for tuning in. You really do appreciate it. I hope you really do appreciate it. I tell you, I appreciate my producer, both of them for working as they do during the holidays, but I really appreciate you all. And you guys don't have to be too appreciative. It's okay. But I appreciate you all for tuning in. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Daliah, Facebook, The Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So I was watching, I've been watching a lot of Christmas movies I just love, Home Alone and Elf and all of that. And I think there was the Jingle All the Way that was on a couple days ago, and then Christmas with the Cranks or the Crunks. I guess that was on, but I didn't watch it all. But I noticed when I was watching the Jingle All the Way, I was getting stressed. I really wanted the Arnold Schwarzenegger character to get the toy. Because I was worried he would get a chopper or he'll be back. I was like, oh my gosh, don't make Arnold Schwarzenegger mad. Those movies are always stressful. So I'm like, please, for the love of God, make sure Arnold Schwarzenegger can get the toy. Same thing with Home Alone. You don't want this kid killed by two bad guys, and you don't want him going to a completely other city or being left alone when the parents are somewhere either in Miami or Paris or whatever. Miracle on 34th Street. You know, you don't want to see the Santa guy get put in a mental institution. You know, you're watching, you don't want to see on It's a Wonderful Life him kill himself. And when you look at these Christmas movies, your blood pressure goes up. Your heart rate goes up. Look at Die Hard. Okay, sorry, Die Hard. I don't want to see anybody get killed. And these Christmas movies have stress as an underlying theme. And then I'm like, well, that's just the movies. Well, let's look around us. We got Christmas coming up. It's coming up fast because Thanksgiving came late. Are you all done with your Christmas shopping? No. Are you over budget? Yes. Is the house decorated? I've seen neighbors that just finished putting up their Christmas lights. You're like, it's cutting it close here. Family coming over, trying to cook. You know, there's a strike in Amazon. I go on to the website, the Amazon, and the prices are already 30% higher. It's pretty stressful. Why? Why does stress have to be a theme in Christmas? Is it to remind us what happened to Jesus? You know, Christmas is not supposed to all be about cookies and eggnog. It's supposed to be about the birth of Christ. Is it that the underlying stress is to remind us what Jesus went through? Is it that it makes you appreciate Christmas more because you had to put a lot of work into it? I'm dying to kind of look at that from a psychological standpoint. I'm a family doc, so we, do a lot of psychology. And how come every Christmas movie has to have stress? How come Christmas in general has to be stressful? We got to get the house clean. We have to get the lights up. We have to serve a meal. We have to get presents for everybody. If you miss somebody with a present, that's stressful. If the dinner doesn't come out right, that's stressful. If you're late to church, we have Hanukkah on the same day as Christmas. I celebrate Hanukkah. I don't have my menorah candles ready. I don't have all the ingredients to make latkes and sufganiyot and all that. Not to mention, I'm going to be working a lot this Christmas. There's a lot of coverage that needs to be done for patients. Next week is going to be very stressful. Why? We put a lot of pressure that Christmas has to be a certain way. And I think I wasn't listening. I had it on in the background, but with that Christmas with the Cranks or Crunks, I don't know what it's a Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis movie. But without sound, he has a big Christmas tree, and she comes in and she looks all upset. And they look like they're stressed throughout the whole movie. So my guess is they had to I'm going to watch it eventually. I guess they had to come up with a party, or it had to be a certain. I'm like, what's wrong with the tree? It's a big tree. And there's decorations on it. So now your tree has to be a certain way. You all know how I wrap gifts. My mom is an expert gift wrapper. I can't do it. I know you need to cut it and you need to kind of fold it in and then you fold it over. I can never make a gift look tight. And I just don't care. And my kids know. They're going to get something with a whole bunch of Scotch tape. And as long as you can't see through the ripped up paper, it's fine. It's very interesting, by the way. My dog and cats, they have a little Christmas tree of their own. A little blue Hanukkah Christmas tree. And I have presents underneath the tree. Usually the cats and dogs go into the presents. But they know that's theirs. Because we have the big menorah that have all the grown-up presents. But for the cat and dog, I have a little, and they know not to touch them. And one smells of catnip. See, they know. In fact, it's interesting. I added some more trees and lights in our house, and the cat was sleeping all day, one of my cats. And all of a sudden, I'm working, and all of a sudden, she bolts across the room and runs across the couch and looks up to look at the lights. And she looks around, and she looks at the other cat, and the other cat, shake. He's like the 18-year-old. He's like, I don't know, don't ask, it's new. And she's like all excited that there's something new in the house, but she looks at me going, really, this is the best you can do? That stresses me out. I'm trying to do the best I could. Many of you have seen the lights. I've posted pictures of how I did the lights. It does not look like I hired somebody. Okay, it looks pretty haphazard, but there's lights out there. And I think there's this stress where you have to have the lights, you have to put them on the roof, don't fall. They have to all be working. What if a bulb isn't working? Did you put the lights up? I understand it's cold. Did you do the decoration? Do you have the right decorations? Are you making sure you're also including the religiosity of it? Do you have the menorah? Do you have the menorah so it won't cause a fire? Because menorahs have real candles. Don't light a fire. Does anybody with a gallbladder issue, are they going to go into a gallstone attack because they're eating latkes that are fried? What about everybody's cholesterol and diabetes? Because if you're Jewish, you got something going on. And so it's, sadly, we're the chosen people from a medical standpoint. I don't know any Jew that doesn't have high cholesterol or colitis or high blood pressure or diabetes or hemorrhoids or something. And so, it's just a stressful time. Now, is it because we're putting so much work and stress so that when Hanukkah comes and when Christmas comes, which is December 25th this year, we breathe a sigh of relief? I don't know. Another movie I just saw was Four Christmases. Vince Vaughn and, oh my gosh, the girl from Legally Blonde, Reese Witherspoon. They have to go to Four Christmases because both their parents are divorced. So, Nanu. So they have to go to both of the moms and both of the dads' Christmases. And they go and they have the stress. We're going to be talking about dysfunctional families. And, just every single movie. Now, is it just because Hollywood has to have that ebb and flow and the climax and antagonists and protagonists? Is it because of that? But that does mirror real life. A lot of people are going to be with family and it's going to be stressful. And I'll tell you how to deal with that. But Christmas is supposed to be the one day of the year, and Hanukkah, the 8 days of the year, where it's different. It's not like every day. And the average person is finding that it can even be more stressful. Now, I love that there's football, but if your team's not winning, that's stress. So maybe we need to reevaluate our expectations of Christmas. Christmas, to me, and Hanukkah, there are to-do lists. It's something I need to do. I want to do, and I look forward to doing. But it's not going to be all fun and games. There's a lot of work that goes into it. There's a lot of stress, anxiety. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. But you won't feel bad if you did your best. And maybe tell the family members, say, look, I want to make sure we didn't forget anybody. No Hanukkah or no Christmas is ever perfect. And so I'm telling you right now, I'm doing my best. But if I goof, let me know and I'll make it up. But, I hear people going, I don't want to mess up the pies. I don't want to mess the turkey. I don't want to mess up the ham. I don't want to mess up. We're not serving ham, because it's Hanukkah. So we're going to be serving, I think we're going to do a turkey. It's okay. It is okay. But use this time when you are stressed to pray. Thank God for being able to celebrate this year and being here to celebrate with others. And maybe that'll calm you down. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's Medi-Share. Maybe you've heard switching to Medi-Share to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medi-Share is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medi-Share works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 855-SHARE-40. That's 855-SHARE-40. 855-SHARE-40.
Crime across the country is at an all-time high. It feels like even a family road trip is taking a risk. We don't want the feeling of being unprotected and vulnerable. We found GetCCL.com. GetCCL.com gave us the help we needed to apply for a legal concealed carry permit that's recognized in over half of the country. GetCCL.com simplifies the process to apply, and it's all online. We used their free qualification process to answer a few questions and applied for our permit right from home. Thanks to reciprocity laws between states, when you're issued a New Hampshire concealed carry permit, you can legally carry in any state that recognizes your New Hampshire permit. It only takes minutes to apply, so don't wait. Exercise your rights today. Ensure you're protecting your family at home and in other states. Have peace of mind. Apply today. Go to GetCCL.com. That's GetCCL.com. Go to GetCCL.com. Exercise your rights today. Go to GetCCL.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Lisa Wolf here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you. And be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Did you know that more than half our household energy costs go to heating and cooling? Energy efficiency isn't just good for the environment. It means lower utility bills, too. One way to reduce your energy waste is a home energy assessment. Your utility company can help, or you can learn how to do it yourself at EnergySavers.gov. That's EnergySavers.gov. You'll learn to look for air leaks around windows and doors, check ducts for holes, and improve your insulation. Another time to cut energy costs is when you shop for a new appliance. Look for the Energy Star logo and read the Energy Guide label. And there are day-to-day things you can do. Lower your thermostat in winter and raise it in the summer. Close fireplace dampers when they're not in use. And keep air filters clean. For more tips on saving money by reducing your energy waste, check out ftc.gov/green. A tip from the Federal Trade Commission, the nation's consumer protection agency.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show, 1-877-Dr. 1-877-DOCDALI. So this headline caught my eye from the Telegraph, where podcasts are now mostly mid-wit slop, it says. And they say it's time to tune out. And, it's interesting because it looks like everybody and their mother has a podcast. And I have been very, very grateful for my radio career. And people always ask, what's the difference between radio and podcasting? Well, radio is live, and you have the blessing of being on a radio station where somebody can turn the radio station on, hear you. You have affiliates that play your show. And I'm very grateful to all of my affiliates who do that. And you're able to, take callers, and you're able to, offer a platform where people have freedom of speech. You could teach, you can entertain, you could inform. I love radio. Podcasting, similar, but it's where people can not tune in live, but they can access the show at any time. And they can listen to it on the run, during their workout, on their drive. And podcasting made sense because with all the digital technology we have, why have to just tune in something live? It's kind of like the TiVo or the VCR of TV, where now people can listen to shows. And what also made podcasting amazing was individuals who didn't necessarily have a relationship with a network like I do with Talk Media Network, or they don't have relationships with affiliates, they can have their own platform, and they can now do their own streaming platform and make their own podcast for free. And so it's fantastic that it allowed freedom of speech. It allowed people to be able to get out there, talk about what they wanted to talk about, express themselves. And some podcasts have just soared to amazing popularity levels, like Joe Rogan. And then you have other people where they have a podcast and nobody listens. And so what's very interesting about podcasts is I've listened to a lot of different ones, and I find the majority of them very, very informative. And I love listening to all sides. I like listening to something new. But where there's some issues as it pertains to podcasting is the qualifications of the person who is behind the mic. And so when you start to look up and you listen to a person go, wait, what are they talking about? And they're like, oh, okay, well, how do they know? Now, some of these individuals, wow, they were Navy SEALs. As far as I'm concerned, anything they want to talk about that has to do with that, they are very, very well versed. And somebody's going to be talking about an operation, a military operation. I'd rather hear from a Navy SEAL. But you have a lot of individuals who portend or who market themselves as some expert. And then they say things and people are like, well, okay, well, I believe this person. I believe this person. Dr. Oz rose to fame on Oprah, but he's a physician. He's a cardiovascular surgeon. And even though some doctors are like, why is he talking about GI issues? Listen, cardiovascular surgeons, they go through years and years and years of training. I think he does, shall we say, earn that badge to be able to talk about medical issues. But if something is beyond his purview, beyond his specialty, he has to say it. I'm board certified in family medicine. I'm a fellow in family medicine. But if there's going to be something that I am not trained in, that I don't know much about, when I bring up law, when I bring up economy, I'll always preface by saying, look, I am not an expert on law or economy. I'm also not an expert on dogs, because my dog is with me here in the studio, and that dog is driving me crazy, but I love my puppy. I'm also not an expert in veterinary medicine, but I'll give advice. But I'll tell you, and I'll always preface it so that we can, have the ability to let you do your own research. Anything I say on my show, I do want you to I do want you to look it up. I don't want anybody to take my opinion as gold. And I do that with my patients as well. I say, look, if this is a medical treatment, that's your option. This is what I'm recommending, but get a second opinion. I think getting a second opinion is important. The problem is many people, as they listen to these podcasts, they don't get a second opinion. They listen to one thing and then they think they're an expert. And they'll quote this one person, like, who is that person? What qualifications do they have? What are we talking about here? And so people's drive to become famous, to make money on their podcasts, now the jerks, the idiots that don't get a following, that don't have a leg to stand on, figuratively, in terms of what they can't back up what they're saying. Those podcasts don't last too long. Or somebody who doesn't know how to ask the questions. I mean, Joe Rogan went from Fear Factor to, here he is, I think it was I think he had the CEO of NVIDIA on his show, saying, look, doesn't that scare you? How AI is, going to replace jobs? So I really do believe that we have some fantastic figures out there that are worthy of our attention, are worthy of us listening to their podcast. However, you got to be careful. And when we've educated ourselves with Google and with Bing and with DuckDuckGo and having access to the internet, which I'm very happy about. I don't want medicine to be monopolized just by doctors or CEO or suits. I don't want, economy advice, economic advice, stock market advice, how to fix your own toilet. I love the fact that we can educate ourselves. And even though people say that our latest generations are not as educated, actually they are. I am blown away at how my kids know current events even before I do. They're aware, they're getting information. And luckily they're using sources that we could trust. But there's a lot of sources out there you can't trust. So now that everybody and their mother has a podcast, what happens next? People say that radio is dying. Radio's still here. And I think radio will always still be here because on podcasts, the average person can't just call in. They can't just share their opinion. My show plays live in some cities. In other cities, it doesn't play live. But at least we have an answer line where people could call in, put their question out there, give their opinion, and I could play it. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. But where we are live, we can have listeners call in and talk and give their opinion. And so radio has a role. It also has a role in the emergency broadcast system. It has a role in when all things go down and all internet goes down, people can still turn on a radio and still access the radio waves. It's a fantastic, fantastic tool. So it's not going away. With podcasting, it is becoming diluted. And now everybody and their mother has a podcast. And everybody thinks they're this big podcast star. And good for them. It's a business. Good for you. And I think, if you're trying to inform and you want to teach and you know something and you have something you could contribute, go for it. But if you are if you're a charlatan, if you're scamming people, no, you have no business having that gift of pretending that you're an expert and possibly leading people wrong. You have a right to freedom of speech, but you also have to disclose that you're not a physician. You have to disclose you're not somebody who's legally trained or criminally justice trained. You have to disclose that. You can't just say, well, look, I'm on air and people listen to me, so I'm an expert. No, that just doesn't work. And if it's an opinion show, then give your opinion. You could give your opinion. I talk about relationships all the time, talk about marriages. I think relationship shows, lifestyle shows, absolutely what works for you. A lot of individuals who have made it, look at Oprah. I'm not sure what her training is, but boy, do people value her opinion. And that happens. It's just now we have so many people. And so when you see an article like this, is it mind, wit, slop? Yeah, there is a lot of BS out there, but I think the ones who really, really do well and the ones who, talk about their experience, they educate themselves from their own listeners and from their own, from their own guests. And I think they have, every right to be doing what they're doing. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by right now. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-910-7500. That's 800-910-7500. Call now to find out how much your case could be worth.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
In a study, it was found that 33% of 44 herbal supplements had no trace of the advertised herb. Don't let that happen to you. Hi, this is Dr. Mitch. If you want to ensure quality, please go to TotalWellness.com. Supplements made for physicians only now available to you too. TotalWellness.com, helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.
Self-reliance. It's not a phrase we hear much in our culture these days. It might conjure up images of pioneers, the West, rifles, strapping men, and strong women. But what does it mean for us in today's world? The New American Magazine has just released its latest collector's edition, Self-Reliance, Foundation of Freedom. In it, the New American authors outline the necessity of self-reliance for a free people, tips for self-reliant living, and the importance of not giving up hope. This unique edition includes articles on the self-sufficiency of the founders, preparing for a worst-case scenario, firearms, financial self-reliance, the importance of community, and many other topics by expert writers. Now, for a limited time, the New American is offering a bundle of 3 collector's editions: Self-Reliance, The Great Reset, and Trump World for just $19.95. Available at shopjbs.org. Visit shopjbs.org today.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam! Ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.
Did you know that more than half our household energy costs go to heating and cooling? Energy efficiency isn't just good for the environment. It means lower utility bills, too. One way to reduce your energy waste is a home energy assessment. Your utility company can help, or you can learn how to do it yourself at EnergySavers.gov. That's EnergySavers.gov. You'll learn to look for air leaks around windows and doors, check ducts for holes, and improve your insulation. Another time to cut energy costs is when you shop for a new appliance. Look for the Energy Star logo and read the Energy Guide label. And there are day-to-day things you can do. Lower your thermostat in winter and raise it in the summer. Close fireplace dampers when they're not in use. And keep air filters clean. For more tips on saving money by reducing your energy waste, check out ftc.gov/green. A tip from the Federal Trade Commission, the nation's consumer protection agency.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
That's right, free. The smartest way to hire. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dolly, 1-877-DOCDALI. So George writes, Doctor, longtime listener here. And again, guys, sorry I haven't been able to get all your emails and all your notes. And you know, so I'll try to read them all as I can on air and get to them. Grateful. Keep them coming. George writes, Doctor, longtime listener here. I'm most stressed about retirement. With Biden, I had to cut into a lot of my savings, and seeing prices not go down anytime soon, I am nowhere near, he says, where I should be with money in the bank or retirement, and I'm scared. I'm just going to call it poopless because he cussed. He said, would love your 2 cents figuratively and hell literally. Okay, I'll give you my 2 cents. Thank you, George. Yeah, this is, it's okay. It's okay to be stressed about it. I think we all are. We try not to think about it around Christmas time because we got to buy presents and we got to do a lot, but the Christmas bonuses, like the Christmas vacation, Christmas bonus where you saw with Clark Griswold, doesn't necessarily happen anymore. God, I would love to get a Christmas bonus. Doesn't happen. And so how are your retirement accounts? My retirement account is abysmal because I had to borrow for medical school. I worked. I waited tables. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll tell you what. I borrowed $80,000, which is amazing for medical school. I went to UNR, did my last year at UCLA, and I borrowed $80,000. I had to help a family member go through school, and I couldn't give them my student loans because my student loans had to go through to school of living. So I waited tables, and I used that money to help them and try to help support myself so I could borrow as little as possible for the wedding. Tried to scrape as much together to do the wedding. We did a very good budget wedding. We had some help from my in-laws, which was nice, but really, really skeleton in terms of not a lot of frills. And then my husband had a couple $100,000 in student loans. We start our practice. Well, you have to put money out to start your practice. And insurance companies paid like crap. And then I started my family because I was in school the whole time. So I had my first child in 2000 and my second child in 2002. So between student loans, starting a family, even though I was working full time, I wasn't able to work my usual time and a half like I always did to make it. In fact, when I was in residency, I moonlighted in an ER in Lake Havasu and in urgent cares in Bullhead, so I could help start paying off my husband's loans. I was 9 months pregnant driving down there. I mean, it was work. Had to quit waiting tables when boards came because I just had to study for the boards and stuff. So between two kids, between the loans, between starting a practice, didn't save any money for retirement, hardly any at all. Residency had I think a 403B, very little was in it. I remember buying some Pfizer stock. It split, did well for a little bit, went down. So basically no savings. Then I start to make a little bit of money by 2004. And my grandma dies. And nobody has money for the funeral. Well, back then, for just a simple funeral and travel and all that, at minimum $10,000. So that cut whatever we had. And then my dad died a few months later. Again, nobody had no life insurance, no money for the funeral. So we were wiped out at the end of 2004 because of two funerals. We tried to build up from 2005 to 2009. And what happened in 2009? Obamacare. Deductibles go up, insurance pays less. People couldn't pay because of the recession. And I don't care what the internet now says. They're saying that the recession ended in 2009. That recession went way into 15, 16. And so we struggled with money coming in and keeping the business open. So again, for retirement, could barely put anything away. It wasn't until Trump came into power and between 2017 or from 2016 to 2019, right before COVID, we were able to put a little bit of money away. So here I am, middle age. I don't care. I know I'm probably giving you guys too much, but I want to be honest with you. Everybody thinks I golf, and my car is a used car. Okay, now I'm not rolling in the dough, and I love my car. Yeah, but it's the. And we really don't have the savings we need. We're really behind because life got in the way. And by the way, I wouldn't have made any decision differently. I'm glad I was there for my grandmother and the family and my dad. I'm glad I did what we could, help support my mom. I wouldn't change any of that. And it's not that I was stupid. We knew we had to put away for retirement. We're not big spenders. You guys see, I rewear the same clothes. I don't really do the fanciest of makeup. I rarely wear jewelry. But we made some choices. We did take some vacations. My kids go to state school on scholarship. So we're trying to put money away. But what do you do? Now here we are, 2024. A lot of us haven't been able to put money away and retire. And now things are even more expensive. So the first advice I would give George and everybody is downsize. If you don't need 2 cars, go to 1. Now, I know the first thing we all think about is, what if 1 car breaks down? Well, nowadays we have Uber. Just think about it. If you really don't need 2 car payments, if you don't need a 4-bedroom house, and you could get by on a smaller house. Now, some of you say, well, I got too much stuff. Well, then just look at the calculation of a storage unit. How much cheaper would your rent or mortgage be if you downsized but had a storage unit? You got to look at that. Have a conversation with the family. A big thing older people panic about is they don't want to be a burden on their kids. But I'm telling you right now, you're not being a burden if you gave birth to them. I'm telling you right now, okay, carrying a fetus that feels like 70 bricks in your uterus, I'm sorry, that's burdensome. Okay? Them waking you up in the middle of the night, doing poo-poo all over your clothes, peeing through their diaper, right? Whining and yelling, they were a burden. You have every right to hope that they are there to help you. Now, they don't necessarily have to do your nursing and doctoring. There's medical staff for that, but it is okay to ask for some help. And talk to the family about what is the best way to do this so there's no surprises later. We don't want to be a burden later, and we don't want to have any surprises of, we have no money. So what's the best thing for us to do now? Look also for some income where you can, do like there's, dog walking, there's babysitting, there's nannying, there's cooking for other families. There's a lot of things you could do on the side that aren't full-time jobs that might also allow you to make some extra money. Put $20 away a week if you can. Quit eating out. Now, I understand groceries are expensive, but buy groceries. You don't have to have big portions. You don't have to be eating a full steak. You don't have to have 2 burgers. The burger sizes could be smaller. Start looking at your portions. If you don't need to smoke, don't. Don't buy alcohol. Alcohol is really high priced. Skip the dessert. Exercise at home if you are spending too much on the gym. But definitely seek help. Talk to a financial advisor. 1-877-DOC-LA.
Did you know that healthy arteries make a gas? Yes, actually 3 known gases. Hi, I'm Dr. Mitch, and nitric oxide is a gas that's readily made all day long to keep our arteries open by relaxing the blood vessel walls. By doing this, our circulation is increased, bringing blood, oxygen, and nutrients to every part of your body. Both age and poor diet can lead to a loss of this precious gas, and in turn, blood pressure can go up, energy can go down, and you can get tingling in your hands and feet. Well, our product, Ultimate Nitric Oxide, can easily help fix this lack of nitric oxide. Go to TotalWellness.com. That's TotalWellness.com, where we are helping you to look good, feel good, and enjoy total wellness.